What I'd like to do now is welcome back to the university one of USC's recent graduates, Jimmy Coe. We invited him back because he has done so much after he has graduated, and he joins us to share his experiences and talk about what it's like to go into the world after having earned a USC education. During his time at USC, he co-founded the Transfer Student Community, a support system for transfers as they settle into life on our campus. As an alum, he continues to bring the transfer community together within our wider Trojan family. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Coe.
So my name is Jimmy Coe. I went to Santiago Canyon College down in Orange, 2011 to about 2014, transferred to USC where I graduated in 2017 with a bachelor's in business administration. And right now I work in corporate financing where I finance aircraft. When I was a student there was no single employee paid to help transfer students. And USC is a private school that accepts the most amount of transfers in the country. So I thought that was kind of a weird statistic. So I had a pretty hard time. I know a lot of other students had a hard time. So the whole point of me being involved now is to make sure that that process gets better. Students have a better time than, the experiences that we had before.
When I was a student, I noticed that there was a need for additional resources for transfer students. And to find a solution, I created the first organization on campus dedicated to helping transfer students and spring admits through mentorship programs and networking events with transfers and spring admit alums. Now, with the encouragement of the university, the organization is now the Transfer Student Assembly, and it continues to make a significant impact for their communities.
So I had a pretty traditional background. I went to community college right out of high school, but I was the president there too, and that kind of really opened my eyes because I was representing students who weren't traditional students. There are a lot of people who are like single moms trying to go back to get their degrees, people just older in life trying to go back to get their education. And I know some people that I used to work with where they would take a bus like an hour and a half to get to campus to go to school. People in like worse off situations than I was that really had a hard time. And so, transferring to USC, I saw a lot of those students kind of, come over, and being a transfer, it's something where, I feel like we wanted a little bit more, whether it's we were rejected the first time or we had to overcome something, or, we had to essentially go through a second layer or do something else to get to where we want to be. And I feel like, transfer students just have a little bit, more to offer in terms of just, having a little bit more of that drive.
When I was sitting in your seats, I remember thinking, how can I live up to the amazing alumni in USC's history? Now, I was not as athletic as a Reggie Bush or an Allison Felix, not as artistic as a Ryan Coogler, and I definitely didn't have the charisma nor the looks of a Tom Selleck. The students here might have to Google who that is. However, I reminded myself that USC chose me for a reason, and some of you may be nervous for what's to come like I was, but remember that there's something special USC recognized in all of you.
So the whole point of the creation of the transfer student community was to kind of be that service for a while before USC was able to implement something, and just having somewhere to go to, right? Like campus is pretty big. There's a lot of students. You don't really know who you can kind of fall back on, and kind of what I mentioned, there's no one employee to help transfer students. So like the whole point was to have kind of a group and a community that transfer students can go to and kind of lean back on, and from there they'd be able to venture out, join certain clubs, get more involved in their specific school and their major, and kind of branch out in that sense.
And at the end of the time here, if you feel you didn't accomplish everything you set out to, just remember you're a Trojan for life, and the Trojan family is always here to support you. Welcome, and fight on.